Hey guys, how are you? I want to share a story with you because I think as part of my job as a functional nutrition consultant and a health and wellness coach, the way you help people is by sharing stories, sharing information, sharing new research, all that kind of stuff to help people to achieve health and wellness and just feel good about themselves. So a lot of the time I think that's why we get frustrated is we don't get the answers that we're looking for. So my job is to help to research to find those answers, and I do that for clients and I also do that for myself. It's been a long journey for myself trying to just get to the bottom of some of my niggly complaints, mainly just around digestion and gut issues and that kind of thing. So I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had to sort of fight depression or anxiety or any autoimmune conditions that I'm aware of yet, although I'll tell you a bit more later, but I feel like that's probably where I was heading. So thankfully it's only been minor niggles, but I think through the research of trying to find answers, because I'm not the kind of person that's happy with I don't really know, but take this and see if you feel better kind of approach. It's certainly not a one size fits all with people, and that's part of my job, is to look at each individual person, their particular lifestyle, how they're currently eating, how they, whether they're exercising, what their stress levels are like, and their environment and that kind of thing as well. So to look at that, look at what will work and probably what's not working for them at the moment, and help them to sort of make those few little tweaks and changes to improve their health. And I do that for myself. I know the basic principles of how to achieve good health and wellness, and certainly studying functional nutrition, you learn all about that. You also learn about the chemicals in our environment, the chemicals in our food, and etc. etc. So I've certainly done a lot of research over the last few years, but again, part of my job is to help others, and I think the only way you can do that is by sharing your story and sharing the information. Now, it might be a story from another client where I'm like, this person's had wonderful results with this, and try this, and it might be, just other findings. The research is constantly changing when it comes to managing diabetes, for example, or cholesterol and all that kind of thing. But part of it is also me, sharing my story and being genuine and open about my successes, and also my well, I wouldn't say failures, because I don't think there are failures. I think, if you make a mistake, as long as you learn from it, then it's not really a failure. But but I think sharing those with people is definitely part of my job, and that's what I'm here to do. And if you can't help someone with your story, then what's the point? So I will be sharing my story, and over the next coming weeks and months as well. So my hope is that someone will relate to my story, and if they don't personally, they might remember it should they be talking to someone else, or it might be someone in their family. And if I can help one person with that, or prevent them from going down the path that I went down over 16 years ago now, but if I can just stop one person, then that would be my ultimate goal. So basically, okay, so about 6 weeks ago, I had a bit of a health scare. Now, as I said, I'm a health and wellness coach. I know how to eat, and I also did an intensive gut healing program last year, for most of last year, and it was amazing. It was through Cultured Wellness, and I learned a lot doing that, and I certainly had some major wins doing that as well. And a lot of people do. The testimonies on there, I'll pop a link in the comments below, but people just achieve so many great things on that, and you're educating yourself as well, and you learn some really good principles that you can apply moving forward. And sometimes you get off track, and then you can just reapply them. And it's such a good support group through Kirsty and her crew as well. They're amazing. So I recommend that to friends, family, clients, because it was an amazing program. But like I said, I had a lot of wins there, but there was just something that I felt was blocking me sort of going any further. And I think it all came about when I was starting to question, well, what else is at play? I've cleaned up my home, and I have cleaned up our diet, certainly. I think that's where I started, and I've cut a lot of things out, and I've addressing my gut issues, and I just got to a point where I was like, there's something else, and I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then about 6 weeks ago, I had started having heart problems. Now, I'm only 42 and don't really have a history of any heart problems. And, you know, my dad, you know, he did have heart problems when he was about 48, but he was also, you know, an alcoholic and a smoker, and probably certainly not as healthy nutrition-wise as what I am. So that was never really, you know, a factor. And anyway, so 6 weeks ago, yes, I just randomly was putting the washing on. So maybe it's the housework, I don't know. Maybe that's the cause of the problem. Yeah, so putting the washing on, and my heart rate just spiked up to about 220 beats per minute. So that was quite exciting. Anyway, after about an hour, it still wasn't going down, and we didn't really know what to do. So we called the ambulance, and anyway, went to hospital. They did a few tests and everything came back normal. They asked the typical questions like, do you do drugs? Are you on the pill? Oh my God, all sorts of problems. Do you have any thyroid problems? And are you on any medication? Do you have any history of heart problems? All that kind of stuff. And the answer to those was no. I haven't done any of those. I haven't been on the pill for quite some time, quite a few years now. Yeah, so they basically, the test came back normal. They just said, you've got SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia. Go away, and if it happens again, come back, let us know. Anyway, me being me, was never happy with don't really know, sorry, can't help you, just here's the name for it, and if you have a problem, come back. So at the same time that I was questioning that there's something that's just not quite right, this happened, and it was pretty scary, I have to say. And you know, that settled down for a few weeks. I felt pretty crappy for the first few days, but it did settle down. Then it happened again. It didn't quite get to 220, but it did happen again one Friday night, and it settled again. Then about a week later it happened again, and then about a week after that it happened again, and it had stayed sort of pretty high, about the 110, 120 for almost a week, and I started to feel really crappy. And at about that time, some information sort of fell into my lap, and again, me being me, I started to really dig heavily into this, and it sort of consumed my life for a good week or two. Within that week, I decided, right, I need to address this. This is just, it's not worth the risk. So that was it, made the decision, and within a few weeks, I'll hopefully address that issue. But basically what it was is breast implant illness. So about 16 years ago, I had breast implant surgery, and, you know, I asked all the typical questions. What are the risks, you know, with regards to even just breast cancer and stuff like that? And, you know, there was a lot of concern around the silicone, but, you know, I was told that the silicone is different now. It's a cohesive gel, so if there are ruptures, you know, it'll stay there. It won't seep into your system, and you get them replaced and it should be fine. The main concern as well back then was capsular contracture, so that's why they had the textured implants now, which reduces capsular contracture. However, now we're finding out that they're actually the highest risk for something called anaplastic large cell lymphoma, because the implant is actually textured. That's a lot of surface area that bacteria can make a nice little home in, and yes, cause a lymphoma of some sort, which can be life-threatening. Yeah, and it's certainly not worth the risk, especially when you have little ones and just family who love you as well. So yeah, when even, you know, a lot of doctors aren't recognizing breast implant illness, and even just a few weeks ago when I rang my surgeon, it was sort of, I felt like it was downplayed. There's a little video on his website saying that ALCL is, you know, it's very rare, and, you know, it's not actually a breast cancer. So sort of the impression that I got was that, oh, it's not actually a breast cancer, so it's not that serious, and it is very rare. But to me, with what I know, your lymphatic system goes through your entire body from head to toe, so that's pretty scary. Yes, and again, it's definitely not worth the risk. So the more research that I did, the more I realized that's it. This has got to be the missing piece of the puzzle, and these babies have got to go. Yeah, I've got 3 little babies, other babies that are way more important than these 2 babies. So I made that decision that I'm having them taken out. I think you know, perhaps it's an age thing as well. The older you get, the more confident you are. And you know, 16 years ago when I had them done, I was always very athletic, and I was always, you know, not a tomboy, but I just had that very athletic build and was, you know, a little flat-chested, and I felt like, you know, having surgery would just help me to feel a little more feminine. But now I know that you are not your boobs, and having big boobs does not make you feminine. So, and it's just not worth the risk of the health. And like I said, the evidence coming to light now is that it is a very serious health problem. And even if, like, some women on these support groups, which I'll provide the link to below, but some women are having like an immediate reaction to their implants, and some, for like myself, I've had these for over 16 years, and it was just a very slow, I think, regression as far as my health went. And certainly digestive issues were my main problem, now the heart issues, and that's scary as hell, so that's not worth the risk. But a lot of women, yeah, have had similar problems with the heart problems, heart palpitations and SVT, and other, you know, heart problems, as well as autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and eczema and rashes and dry mouth and dry eyes. And oh my God, the list of problems is huge. Brain fog is another very common one. And now, don't get me wrong, a lot of the symptoms that I had can absolutely be attributed to your diet, but I addressed all of those. So I felt like there's one thing left to address. And, you know, with what I know about chemicals in your body and in our environment, there is no way that my body is going to heal while I've got these toxic substances in my body. So time to come out. And they'll be coming out in a few weeks, and then I can focus. And using the principles that I learned in the Cultured Wellness program, I can apply all of those again, you know, just with my healing journey. So hopefully it will address some of those issues. If not all of them, that would be great. And if you know anyone who has breast implants and it's just, they've got these unexplained symptoms that the doctors don't seem to help them with, then, you know, give them this information. It might just be the missing piece of the puzzle, like I feel like it is with me. And even, you know, if you know someone who's thinking of getting them, show them this information first. Like I said, I'll provide all the links below. Please just get them to read the research and the information, because, you know, if I can just stop one person from getting breast implants, then my job is done. I've at least achieved something. And, you know, my husband and I agreed, we're normally sort of pretty private about things like that. When I had them done, I didn't announce to anyone I was having them done other than my mum. And, you know, if you didn't ask, I wasn't going to tell you. I just wasn't that kind of person. And it really wasn't any of their, you know, business. So, but now we both agree that if we can just stop one person or help one person to go, oh my God, that's, you know, the cause of my problems, and to get them out. And, you know, there are over 80,000 people on just one particular Facebook group who have, and a lot of doctors who do explant surgery now who are saying that, you know, I think it's 85+% of women heal after. All of their problems just go away, or most of their problems go away, you know, straight after having them removed. Some are immediate, some, you know, it's a healing journey of, depending on what their problem was. You know, I'm so lucky compared to some of the women who, you know, have had terrible problems. So their journey is going to take a lot longer than hopefully what mine will. I'll keep you posted on that. But I feel excited about getting them, you know, removed and just healing my body, because I am only 42 and I have 3 beautiful young children, and I want to be, you know, happy and healthy and vibrant. I don't want to have chronic fatigue like some people get, you know, and I don't want to have any other problems, and certainly don't want cancer or lymphoma or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's empowering to know that I'm making this choice, and for my benefit. And, you know, again, it's a huge shift in my mindset 16 years later. You know, you learn your lessons and just mature a little bit as well. But like I said, if I can stop one person from getting them done, or just going, okay, that's it, I have to have them removed, then that would be amazing. I think I'd be a very happy girl. So I'll keep you posted if you do want to follow my journey. And like I said, if you know someone, just direct them here, and I'm happy to ask any questions, provide any information that you might need. Yeah, so stay tuned, and hopefully it's happy healing in about a few weeks' time. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and I look forward to talking to you soon. See ya.